boils over like, oh God, here goes. I lost all feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things, realize something needs change. Cause I know you got me f***ed up. Let me show you what's up. Cause enough is enough. I'll take a face full of pavement just to make a statement. I know there's no turning back. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll bleed on your face to make you go take it back. I'll lose my shit, I go crazy when I'm mad. And now you go wish you would shut the fuck up real bad. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back. I don't take smoke, I'ma poke a hole through you, choking's overdue. Come at me and you won't get any older, dude. Crack your holder too. Heating up inside of me, blood so violently. Thanks for trying me. Now it's finally time to see how this rivalry becomes a dynasty. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll bleed on your face to make you go take it back. I'll lose my shit, I go crazy when I'm mad. And now you go wish you would shut the fuck up real bad. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back. Yeah. Sometimes I get so mad, there's no controlling me. My thoughts get so bad, I'm like, I might grab a bat, I don't know. My wrath, my blood boils over like, oh God, here goes. I lost all feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things, realize something needs change. Cause I know you got me f***ed up. Let me show you what's up. Cause enough is enough. I'll take a face full of pavement just to make a statement. I know there's no turning back. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll bleed on your face to make you go take it back. I'll lose my shit, I go crazy when I'm mad. And now you go wish you would shut the fuck up real bad. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back. I'll take smoke, I'ma poke a hole through you, choking's overdue. Come at me and you won't get any older, dude. Crack your holder too. Heating up inside of me, blood so violently. Thanks for trying me. Now it's finally time to see how this rivalry becomes a dynasty. I know there's no turning back. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll bleed on your face to make you go take it back. get so mad, there's no controlling me. My thoughts get so bad, I'm like, I might grab a bat, I don't know. My wrath, my blood boils over like, oh God, here goes. I lost all feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things, realize something needs change. Cause I know you got me f***ed up, let me show you what's up. Cause enough is enough. I'll take a face full of pavement just to make a statement. I know there's no turning back. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll bleed on your face to make you go take it back. I'll lose my shit, I go crazy when I'm mad. And now you go wish you would shut the fuck up real bad. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back. I'll take smoke, I'ma poke a hole through you, choking's overdue. Come at me and you won't get any older, dude. Crack your holder too. Heating up inside of me, blood so violently. Thanks for trying me. Now it's finally time to see how this rivalry becomes my dynasty. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll bleed on your face to make you go take it back. I'll lose my shit, I go crazy when I'm mad. And now you go wish you would shut the fuck up real bad. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back. Yeah. Sometimes I get so mad, there's no controlling me. My thoughts get so bad, I'm like, I might grab a bat, I don't know. My wrath, my blood boils over like, oh God, here goes. I lost all feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things, realize something needs change. Cause I know you got me f***ed up, let me show you what's up. Cause enough is enough. I'll take a face full of pavement just to make a statement. I know there's no turning back. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll bleed on your face to make you go take it back. I'll lose my shit, I go crazy when I'm mad. And now you go wish you would shut the fuck up real bad. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back. I'll take smoke, I'ma poke a hole through you, choking's overdue. Come at me and you won't get any older, dude. Crack your holder too. Heating up inside of me, blood so violently. Thanks for trying me. Now it's finally time to see how this rivalry becomes my dynasty. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll bleed on your face to make you go take it back. I'll lose my shit, I go so mad, there's no controlling me. My thoughts get so bad, I'm like, I might grab a bat, I don't know, my wrath, my blood boils over like, oh God, here goes. I lost all feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things, realize something needs change. Cause I know you got me f***ed up, let me show you what's up. Cause enough is enough. I'll take a face full of pavement just to make a statement. I know there's no turning back. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll bleed on your face just to make you go take it back. I'll lose my shit, I go crazy when I'm mad. And now you go wish you would shut the fuck up real bad. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back. I'll take smoke, I'ma poke a hole through you, choking's overdue. Come at me and you won't get any older, dude. Crack.
Приветствую, с вами Ранкима. Ну что ж, погнали снова в Enderal Forgotten Stories. По идее, лагать не должно. Так что повеселимся. Надеюсь, что на арене там лимиты тоже не слишком маленькие. Так, давай, короче, на арену. Мне нужно золото, опыт, опыт ты мой. Так, только сейчас нужно вспомнить, куда идти. Так, это браки. Почему нельзя просто вот арена, все. Браки это чисто спальня, окей. Во, точно. Пыль. Арена это пыльная яма. Едите? А почему так-то, а? Я лучше буду почаще сохраняться, а потом тупо удалять. Раги Синий Клык. Мы знакомы?
But you will soon. She's an alchemist.
Ау.
Small tip from my side. Don't let her tender appearance fool you. You'll see why. Aren't you eager? You know the drill. Go downstairs and warm up. The fight will take place in a couple of hours.
Погнали. Да я сейчас выживу. Сейчас опять будет какая-то хрень, которая ваншотит. Да мне хп-то маловато. Подождите-ка, кстати. Так. У меня очки вообще еще есть. Понятно, все. Вот что минус этой локации. Если я в реальном мире был заморожен, то тут тоже не смогу ходить. Понятно. Я чуть-чуть сломал игру, ладно. Ладно, я чуть сломал игру. Изи! Чё, бля? Твою дивизию, а вот в чем прикол, она зелье контрапии сделала, точно. Значит, не особо-то и сложно, на самом деле. Ох ты ж! Все, качаю ментализм. У меня есть переносной сундук. Тук-тук-тук. А вот это прям офигеть, какое заклятие, кстати, неплохое. Окей, запишу так. Надеюсь, что разработчики тут придумали немного противников на арене. А дофига. Так, чтобы прям... Так, ну это пока не буду брать. Тоже не надо. Это пока оставлю. Стопы. А чего у меня хп регенит? А, я что-то сожрал, что ли, до этого? А, окей. Окей. Кстати, неплохой момент фарм. Для меня, по крайней мере, пока что. 450 нормально. А чё, друг? Я тоже так могу, только я могу это сделать, мне хп просто вообще не прокачано.
I had hoped you'd ask that. I do. And this time, no. If you're man enough, you'll fight the beast tonight. Aye, the pride of the pit. And the good thing about it, even if you hack it to shreds, all we need to do is give it some elixir and have our necromancer stick it back together. And it's as if you don't lie though. It'll be hard this time. And chances are you won't make it out alive. If you do make it though, it'll be worth your time. Something like that, aye. But let's not dwell on the details, shall we? Thought so. Well then.
Подожди. Подготовиться! Окей. Так. Немножко хакаем систему. А, блять. Ой! Блин, я знаю, что это по сути как бы дыра, я не помню, как эта штука называется, но это охрененно. Блин, прикольно то, что можно так систему ломать. Типа, если я в реальном мире стою, то я могу переместиться к себе. Алло, почему 1000 штраф? Почему он бездомно убил? А чё без... Бездомную вали нахрен. А почему он... Ладно. Да, сука. Слышь ты, крыса. Не могу двинуться. Чувак, ты, блин, уверен? Чувак, блядь. Сука, ты уверен? Ты у меня опыт только что взял. Элементаря зашел, блин. Еще поговорим, блин. Ты что сделал? Как он меня переместил? Не, ну, кстати, то, что он того убил, это, конечно, нехило. С другой стороны, если бы там не было той же девушки, я бы этого чувака грохнул. Реально, то есть один раз долбануть с максимальной мощностью тем электрическим зарядом, 4 или 5 обычных, двойных, и все. Голос отца.
And our little encounter down in the pit erased the last doubts I had about you. That accent. You're an outlander, aren't you?
Чувак, ты мои уши видел? Ты мои уши видел?
Does that mean I have to explain who the relator is to you?
То гильдия арены — это гильдия темного братства, да? Блин, реально, походу так.
Right. The relator is more than a bunch of criminals, though. But we'll get there. Regarding your original question, the voices are the military arm of the relator. I'm sure you've seen some of us before. We come into play when a matter needs us. Indeed. Let me get straight to the point. I want to hire you for a mission. Well, you look like someone willing to slaughter other people in front of a gawking crowd for a handful of coins.
Да. Но если 3000 користь, то я согласен. Кого? Ну, за деньги не уверен. Ну, немножко денег. Давай мне, короче, книги. Книги и свитки.
Well, actually, it's simple. I want your help in killing someone.
Она мне, походу, денег, кстати, не даст. Отца. У них что тут переворот, ни хрена.
Their leader. When I was 6 years old, the relator abducted me and a dozen other children. That is, they bought us. Shagun, the old cunt who owned our orphanage, she sold us like cattle. Us, and over the years, at least a dozen more. And we all came from the same orphanage. The refuge unknown. I have no idea what they did to us. I remember nothing. Yes. Why? Well, probably because the father shoved an ingot of gold up her ass for every
Плохо, золото ну нехило.
The flesh maggots got her a while ago. So she took her reasons to the grave with her. That's the big question, isn't it? At first I thought it was about child trafficking. You know, tender little knaves and girls for rich bastards. Ark's bigwigs. Yet now I've come to the conclusion that it must have been about science. Experiments.
Ага, зашибись. Окей, тут прям что-то как-то складывается в единую такую вот, ну не особо единую, возможно, это разные стороны, но картину.
Only the father. As I said, I'm pretty sure you have the wrong idea about them. The relator doesn't see itself as a guild of murderers, but as a faith, a sect, a cult, in other words. The blackmailing, the shadow tax, is how they finance the little community. That physical body is the worst thing that ever happened to me.
Понятно.
It's a hull, but we digress. If we're to work together, you'll soon have some rogue cultists telling you all this shit anyway. Kind of. After the father was done with us, he simply disposed of our corpses. This is also the first memory I have of that time after the abduction. Waking up in a pile of dead bodies. I don't know exactly, but I must have been somewhere between 12 to 14 years old. Still half a child, in other words. As you can imagine, I was a mess for the first few moons after that. Once I was able to think somewhat straight again, I looked for help in the upper city. Of course, the guards didn't believe a word of what I said and sent me right back down into the caverns. Correct. Let's put it this way. I came to realize that no matter how much I cursed, so I decided to take matters into my own. I told myself how to survive, how to fight. And years later, I entered the dust pit for the first time. One of the voices saw how well I could fight and offered me to study the Relars. Their codex, their holy scripture, written by the father himself. I shaved my head and became a scion, the lowest rank. The father doesn't bother with most Relaim, especially not with the scions. Also, when they discarded me, I was still a child. Now, I'm a man. 8 years ago. Revenge. Yes. I want this monster to pay for what he did to me and the others. And I want to make sure that it will never hurt anyone again. One of the core beliefs of the Relata concerns the Day of Transcendence. It's the day when every Relaim who's ever proven him or herself worthy leaves their body to continue existing as an immortal, immaterial being. And they also believe that this day is imminent, since the father found a way to achieve transcendence for himself and for his lambs. In the weeks to come, it will set out an expedition to the Frost Cliff.
И мне нужно будет всех перебить?
Expedition will be an extremely dangerous undertaking. He will bring along almost a dozen of the best mercenaries available. You will be one of them. And together.
Ну, блин, если я с кем-то буду... Может, я один.
I'm telling you this because I need someone who knows how to kill. Better than the usual Also...
Да, ладно.
As I said, you can fight. That's enough. Well, the Relata spent the last 2 years excavating an old temple that, according to the father, this is where we'll find the key to achieve transcendence. But, well, I can pay you 400 pennies now, and 800. Also, think of all the riches that we'll find in the temple itself. Or in the Relata's treasure chambers. It will be worth it. You can try by doing something that impresses him. As you can imagine, the Relata already has its stock of sellswords they rely on, but if we do something that impresses the father or the first seer, it might be enough to convince him to hire you. Look, I know how shaky it sounds, but it's our best bet. So, are you with me or not? Good. Meet me at the Wailing Tree, 2 hours from now. Here. This will help you get back to the Undercity in case you need to return to the surface before our meeting. Stay safe.
1000 опыта, охренеть. Телепортация. О, под город телепортация. Давай, это классненько. Ух ты ж. Опа, а куда он нахрен меня отвел? Крупная яма? Вот прикольно. Блин, а с этой штукой буду прям капец мало жрать маны. Чпоньк, и готово. О, плюс 100. Ну, такой всегда, он слабенький был. Ауч. А, 190. Ну да, теперь понятно, почему с первого удара его не убил. Блин, я уже реально, если я возьму лук в руки, это будет просто жесть. Серьезно. Риторику нужно будет все-таки немножко подучить. Хотя, знаешь, задрали. Вам жопка. Реально, с учетом того, что у меня вроде как двойной бонус, если не ошибаюсь. Да, двойной бонус, короче, на этом. О, кстати. Двойной бонус на электричество в плане именно прокачки. На это довольно весело. Так, это все заклинания стихии наносят на 13%, на 12%, на 13, плюс еще 12%. Больше урона, плюс электричество еще на 20% больше урона. И, по-моему... Да, вот, еще на 10 больше урона. Блин, прикольно. Ну, с рунами было бы, конечно, прикольно, но да. Нужно бы немножко подзапариться. Так, а что по ментализму, кстати? Так, а у меня что сейчас конкретный... Нет, сейчас точно... Книга. Где эта штука-то? Типа я ее сразу использовал, точно. Ну в принципе да, по ментализму неплохие такие штуки. Плюс щит. О, кстати, так, эффект заклинания брони 5%. Угу. Все, ладно. Ну, думаю, пойдет. Потому что на ментализм прям офигенно будет. Хотя, с другой стороны, я хочу еще вот эту штуку проверить. Типа, сколько тут сейчас? 2 литречка влил? Вроде 2, да? Там я как раз одну уже влил, да? Вроде бы. Так, окей, 2 этих самых. Так, и как это оперативная лаборатория? Да как магия используется, талант, да? Подождите-ка, блин. Так, а как это использовать? Не понял. И чё? Как использовать спортивную лабораторию, алло? Понятно. Ладно, ментализм, пожалуй, чуть-чуть позже буквально. Апну. Интересно же, это однако город Арк. Крипто, то, это. Это флаги. Так, вроде... Да, воспоминания, нормально. Рито, опыт. Мана, мана, мана. Нужно больше маны. А, да, чуть-чуть маны забирается. Ну, против магов, думаю, эта штука была бы еще эффективнее. О, кстати, сейчас же можно будет немножко поэкспериментировать. Эта штука вроде справа, да? А вот и первое заклинание, которое немножечко неверно написано, однако. А, это просто типа музыка, да? А, понял. Это та самая бубенца, то, что там внизу было. В прошлый раз. Не-не. Хотя... Не, потом. А, все понял. Это она звук издает, точно. Серьезно? Всего 100-800, то есть она настолько слабая. И снова скелеты в каких-то пулсах застрявшие. Меня это немного напрягает. Так, стоп. А ты куда делся? О, что издает этот звук? Если сейчас. О, натура работает. Душа Самуэля Делису. Не, ну подожди, есть он, скорее всего, первый уровень, то есть по идее я смогу реально собирать души. Собирать нахрен души. Если он первый уровень, то нормально. Где-то я слышал, что типа максимальная штука, она не особо эффективна. Вот первых оно вполне себе пойдет. Может их вообще можно прокачивать, типа. А все, сколько? Ага, так до 4-го. Мне вот другое интересно, во что я собираю души? То есть буквально во что? Однако тот факт, то, что я могу... Однако сам факт того, что я могу слышать души, при этом как бы не умея с ними взаимодействовать и не видя их, это довольно любопытная штука. Это реально очень любопытно, по-моему. Хочется все изучить, с другой стороны, да, сложно очень. Раз за раз забивает. Интересно, а вот... А где они отображаются, эти души? Привет. Халявный опыт. А сюда, судя по всему, кстати, сверху прям скидывают. Правда, что там находится на самом деле, непонятно. Тупо серия какая-то хрень. Да, лучник был покрепче. Из двух ударов сдохла. Да. Либо она такой себе, либо я что-то слишком мощная. Да, мне нужно все-таки больше от прания Нудзи открыть. Красный корень, верно. Вина. Ну, классно, классно. Это все. Вы серьезно? Так, вот этот я уже лутал. А. Понятно. Ладно, так, я забыл, мне там на 5, да? Да, на 5. Так, у меня есть трибунал, таинственный кочевник. А в этом самом сундуке мне что-то есть из таких самых, из наборов? Эту штуку, пожалуй, возьму. Пусть будет с ценами весело. Что там за бонус он дает? Не, именно за то, что мне... А, вот бонус комплекта, во. Магия на 8. Блин, нужно прям комплект искать, походу. Это прям штука обалденная. Я сначала пусть я буду с этим квестом.
There you are. Ready? Tree. Oh, yeah, sure. The people down here call it the Weeping Tree. They believe that the Black Guardian, once a year, fulfills one of the wishes they write onto these notes. Superstitious nonsense, of course. They might as well send their wishes to the Blue Island Coalition. Either way, ready to set out? What do you think? Because we don't want to draw any attention. If somebody sees me walking around with you, it won't be the end of the world, but I don't want to cause... First a question. Have you ever heard of the Night of the Blind Daughters? A massacre that took place 20 years ago. It was at the Farmer's Coast, around midsummer. The farmers had just put out the lights after a long day's work. Suddenly, shrouded figures showed up out of nowhere, with steel masks. They broke into the houses, and killed anybody who dared. Well, they merely wreaked havoc on most of the farms. Any family with a daughter between 12 and 16 winters was less lucky. All in all, these masked people took 10 daughters that night and carried them away. They were found 1 week later. They lay on the Penny Road, mutilated with their eyes sewn shut. 1 girl each mile. They tried, but the few farm boys who were there in time stood no chance. These masked attackers were assassins, as deadly as the petrified and as brutal as lost ones. To this very day, no one knows. However, there are theories. Do the names the Black Lieber and J.L. Tannerson ring a bell? The Butcher of Ark?
А, так вот оно как.
Yes. Thing is, in this book he left behind, Tannerson claims to have been part of a cult called the Black Lieber. Even nowadays there are still scholars that deny its existence, but according to Tannerson, they see themselves as some kind of counterbalancing power. They make sure that malice and sin, they don't gain the upper hand in this world, and that the scales of good and evil thus stay in balance. Well, this is where it gets bizarre. Normally the Libra only kills people who are, which is also why the attack on the farmer's coast didn't make any sense. However, the father has a theory. Well, he does have an avid interest in them. Let's put it this way. He is, but we'll come to that later. According to the father, the Black Libra chooses their sinners through the dreams of some kind of... The dreams are interpreted by the Libra's priests who extract the names and faces of evildoers from them. However, the child doesn't just see people who have already sinned. She also sees evil in its inception. Thus, the Libra might decide to kill a boy before he becomes a tyrant, or a girl before she gives birth to a murderer. I know, it sounds insane, but that's what it is. But apparently the Libra fully believes in this principle. The child is omniscient. So it would seem, though according to the father, they wouldn't have just been ordinary murderers, but emissaries of the end. Whatever that may mean. Yes. Simple. The father believes that the Black Libra knows the secret to transcendence. This is why he's been studying especially one in particular, in which he describes the initiation ritual he underwent to become one of their assassins. And I also think, long story short, apparently the pages of Tannerson's original manuscript describing the initiation ritual in detail were forcefully torn out, and the father wants to find them. Right. And I happen to know the only person who might be able to tell us their whereabouts. A man named Collian. He was also an assassin of the Libra, and Tannerson's mentor. In other words, an unscrupulous piece of shit that did nothing but murder people for decades, guilty, the innocent alike. According to the father, he was also the one who orchestrated the... However, that massacre seems to have been too much even for his rotten conscience to bear, because he left the Libra... I saw him once. It's no wonder that nobody knows what kind of monster he is. He's gone completely insane. Drinks away every penny he gets his hands on. I have my sources. Let's leave it at that. Maybe, yes. Exactly. If we bring them to the first seer and I tell him how I couldn't have done it, that's the plan. Not the best one, certainly, but all we're getting. Then we'll need to improvise. Let's just hope it doesn't come to that. He currently lives in the communes. That is, if he isn't in some whore's bed in the Silver Cloud right now, or I'll let you do the talking. It's unlikely that the first seer will find out, but the more you actually help me on this mission, the more convincing our little story will be. And one more thing. Don't go easy on that scum. He might seem harmless now, and remember that those 10 mutilated girls on the Penny Road are just one more page in this man's book of sins.
Жесть, конечно.
Some people just don't know their path.
Бедный мистер.
Foreigner, my
Да, блин.
singer.
Я думаю, тебе монетку дать за музыку. Стой.
Has to. Yes.
What?
Как эта штука вообще работает, интересно? А, мне нужен предмет. Окей, я понял, принял. Да, бедные бандиты.
Come.
Blazes, damn it, this is ridiculous.
It's called life, Nathalia. 30 per sheep, and not one penny left.
Well, look at that. Our friend has a visitor.
Я догадываюсь. Пока он спит, она у него что-то тырит, да?
I said,
Тут есть книга!
we need 10 minutes.
Почему нельзя?
Afterwards, you can fuck as many men as you want.
Of course, my lord. At once.
Interesting.
Такое.
Yes. Never mind. Look at him. Pissed like a rat. A miracle he could even get it up. I sure as fuck don't want you to cuddle with him. And again, never forget what this meant.
Говорить с Корианом — это Найлок.
Yeah, who are you? Nylok is tired. Nylok needs sleep. Kalian? No, no, no. Kalian is dead. You're talking to Nylok, his shadow. Why do you ask? Who are you? You remind him of Kalian when he still lived. So much anger in you. So much. Kalian knew this feeling too well. But he was so blind. He didn't see where the road led him. Only when those little flowers' corpses lay dead in the dust did he see what he had done. Now Kalian has been punished. He's dead, and Nylok deserves to suffer for eternity. Regret. No, Kalian had regrets,
Ну да,
yes,
понятно.
but Nylok isn't worthy of these feelings
Защитная
anymore.
реакция. Ну или просто молодец.
So he hates himself, hates his pathetic existence, hates himself for all the suffering his old skin brought upon the world. Why? Because the decrees demanded it, and the decrees don't lie. They never did, and they never will. Aren't you listening? The decrees don't lie. Those little flowers had to die, because if they had not, Kalian knew, Nylok still knows, but still, it broke him. All their pain, their tears, their suffering, their screams. The decrees never lie. I told you! Because Nylok buried his old skin. The Libra doesn't care about Nylok. Why should they? He's vermin. How much? He doesn't remember. They're the deeds of a coward, and he knows it. But the brandy, the pages, Nylok doesn't know what you mean. Now please go. Nylok is tired and needs to sleep.
All right. Let me rephrase my friend's words. You stop playing confused oracle and fucking tell us what we want to know now. And then maybe, just maybe, we'll let you live. Are we clear?
But Nylok just...
Are we clear?
Не надо убивать, чел. Есть множество способов развязать язык, не убивая. Правда, возможно, тогда не будет ни языка, ни пальцев, ни ногтей.
Yes, yes, sir. Nylok understands. Please forgive him. So, the pages. Yes, of course, the pages. Nylok remembers. Kalian tore them from Tannerson's book before the world could see them. No! I told you! I told you! So why are you not listening? Kalian... Oh, no, he... So, the pages...
He's gone
yes, of course,
insane.
The pages. Nylok
I'm guessing
remembers.
all this
Kalian
Nylok
tore them
talk is
from
a way for his
Tannerson's
brain
book
to
before
feel
the world could see
guilt.
them.
He's created a new persona without all the blood on its hands. That is, unless he's lying.
What? Why? Why should Nylok lie? What? Why? Why should Nylok lie? Yes, yeah, but tell me, what do you want with them? You won't be able to read them. Because they're written in the language of the Libra. Even Kalian couldn't read a single word of them. Isn't it obvious? Because something else guided Tannerson's hand when he wrote them. Nylok doesn't have a choice. The pages, he buried them together with his old skin. But tell him, my sir, if he shows you the pages, could you... Well, Nylok is hungry, Nylok is thirsty, and he has no more coin. He understands. Come, follow. What? Why? Why should Nylok lie?
Да, чуть-чуть напрягает то, что просто следовать за ним задание трехзвездочное, как бы, по сложности 3 звезды, это немного напрягает. Да.
My sir, Nylok
Раньше.
has a question.
What?
Your face. You seem familiar. Are you certain that you have never met Nylok before?
How would I know? Maybe.
Ну, похоже, скорее, возможно, он, кстати, ловушку заведет, то есть поэтому трехзвездочное задание. Но, блин, почему не 2 звезды? В чем прикол?
This is the way to the tar pit. Are you sure that's where we're supposed to be going? I warn you, if this is a trap.
Блять, и если это ловушка, то тем, кто, если не будет таких именно сюжетных моментов, то меня чувак схватил. Да. Одна из этих.
The venerable sun-child graces us with its presence. Come to Gork.
Вот если бы не тот сюжетный момент, я бы спокойно, в принципе, размотал. Так.
Ahoy.
Move along. You're from the surface, aren't you? They say that Taylor Aranthil came back. Let's hope he knows.
Красивых прям до хрена.
Hold it right there, old man. Where do you think you're going? You're a little too old for digging.
He belongs to us. We're acting under the Father's orders.
Brother Wrath, from ashes to blood, from blood to liberation. I didn't recognize you. Forgive me.
From ashes to blood, from blood to liberation. Let us through.
Of course. Father's blessings.
Father's blessings. Keep going, scum.
Yes, of course.
О, приветствую. Иди, тут как все закручено-то. Ну, давайте, гоу. Это же вроде не ловушка, кажется, хотя тут до хрена... куда я побежал так? Чё быстро так погнал-то? Ай, не то. Так. Это вроде нормально. Кажется, решил продолжить прохождение Эндрали. Пока условно отдых после рабочего дня. Ну, куда ведешь? Мне-то, в принципе, насрать. Если что, то секунд 10-15 не нужно, и все. И я перемещусь в мирную зону. Заброшенная шахта. Уже интереснее.
Yes, we're here. This is where he buried the pages.
The deserted tunnels. We should be wary. There are a lot of lowlifes down here.
Да. Нет, стоп, я ж не смогу это заклинание сейчас использовать. Сейчас электричеством нормально. До этого где-то в прошлом месяце, по-моему, один или два раза отключали, но пока вроде нормально. Блин, если использовать то ультимативное заклинание, то оно просто их долбанит очень сильно. Моя добыча. Моя добыча. Так. Ты. Эндраль. Ничего полезного. Короче, самое интересное, они этого деда не трогают. Я хочу этого задеть, моего друга. Посох основания, электрический заряд. А подожди, где нет защиты? Фигня. Да твою ж дивизию, опять эта хрень. А я не могу использовать. Чего? Подожди, что ты сделал? Как ты его уничтожил? Что быстро как-то? Слишком быстро. Стоп, мясо.
Back there. That's where he buried his old skin. Please, my sir. You need to just take these last steps alone.
Так, он его сейчас убьет, да?
You just can't.
Is this a trap?
What? No, of course not. It's just Naylock can't. Don't you understand? To see him after all this time. No, Kill Naylock if you don't believe him, but he will stay.
Fine. You go on ahead.
Сейчас. Тут, возможно, что-то есть еще залутать.
You need to dig.
Don't shout.
А, тьфу-то, блин. Я тебя не заметил.
Finally, some fun.
Just a scratch.
Skeleton. I'm seeing anything. Let's look around.
А подожди ты. Так, 6 секунд. Да, бля, серьезно, опять. Опять, блин. Так уже импу плохо. Странная тема, конечно. Ну ладно.
What? It is. Why? Well, actually, it's simple. Everybody who lives down here and earns money has to give a part. This applies to everybody, from beggar to crime lord. That's an exception.
А, то есть это буквально был, это тупо была лестница. А я спрыгнул сверху вниз. Классненько. Че стоишь? Мужики, рядом со мной нет моего спутника, так что зря, но... Ту-ту-ту-ду-ту-ту-ду-ту-ду-ту-ду. Такс. 5 книги о Святом Ордене. Так что спутник там конкретно призастрял. Он, походу, ко мне не идет. Ну ладно. О! Про символы что-то подзабыл немного. А, он должен был возле этой штуки смотреть. Так. Так, я не понял, там стрим вообще идет, нет? Так, нужно будет проверить. Не, стрим вроде идет, да? Так странно, что творится. Ну, типа, ну что, он тут расположен, или чё? Старый скелет. А, и все. Но зато, кстати, вот этот чувак что проснулся. Ни хрена себе 5-й ранг. Нехило. Так, а что там психоз, кстати, делает? Что не помню немного. Любопытно. Давай. Ёж.
What? That's a bloody... Okay, let's assume for a moment that we don't intervene and kill the father on the expedition. There are three Number one, it goes wrong and he and whoever follows him inside all die. This is the only case where you're right. Number two, then we'd have a spectral murderer floating through the world possessing powers then we might have missed the only chance to even... Why? I can give you the essentials, but beyond that, I can't be bothered. Ask. This and that. Most of the time I'm busy reminding the residents of the Undercity to pay their shadow tax, and to make them feel the consequences if they don't. Anything from a clout to the ear to a knife between the ribs. Alright, two things. First of all, I've killed no more than a handful of people for the Relata. And they weren't poor women with babes sucking at their teats, but scum, who knew the rules and thought they could play. Believe me, it takes a lot for the Relata to order the death sentence for someone. They are criminals. If every misdemeanor... Secondly, the death of the father could be worth 100 dead cutthroats, and I'd put arrows into each of their chests if it would get me any closer to my goal. Glad to... You can trust me on one thing, though. Sad and... The monsters of this world, the murderers, Since the father founded it 400 years ago. Correct. Nobody knows, but I would guess it had something to do with his experiments. All those children's corpses must have been good for something, don't you think? Above all else, to leave your old life behind you. All contact is buried, all bridges burned. Most will aim call themselves orphans, even if you conscript everything you do, everything you think, everything.
Так, мне кажется, что либо что-то забаговалось, либо я что-то не понимаю. А, он типа ищет. Окей. Найти старого скелета. Шикарно. То есть спутник чутка забаговался. Ну, вообще супер. Так, это тот, походу, тот быстрый спуск вниз. Так. Тоже свистящий мог, да? Если... Открывать общение у табина. То есть даже не то, что не принадлежит вам, а в принципе. Ну, ладненько, ладненько. Ну, это чисто теория, но... Тупо присоединился к тем, кого нельзя трогать. Точнее, не то, что нельзя, невозможно просто. Блин, я забыл. На Тру ведь нужно отправлять каждый раз уведомление о том, что начал стрим. Именно вручную отправлять уведомление на Трова. Потом еще в других местах, просто чтобы знать то, что в принципе начался. Ладно, пожалуй, сегодня пока стрим завершу. Спасибо тем, кто был на стриме, тем, кто смотрит его запись. На этом на сегодня все. Пока-пока.